Two, one, cue talent.
Hey everybody, we're back with a talk show with DJ Gatsby, and my special guest today is, I keep calling you the celebrity photographer of Washington, D.C., Marcus Bennett. Before we went to the break, man, you were talking a little bit about some of the events that you do and some of the organizations that you work with. I wanted to talking to you a little bit about how you got started in photography. I mean, I know a lot of young people out there are probably interested in photography, even older people, and don't know how to get started or what steps to take. Um, how did you get started? You said you had a love for photography because your dad was into taking pictures, but how did you specifically, man, get started, in your career?
Well, um, I actually, I was doing video first. I bought a video camera back in the 80s, and I got started doing a lot of weddings. And then I would do transfers of photographs onto video and then put
Okay.
music to it. And that went off really, really big. And then a few years later, um, many years later, I started well, the internet and all of that started to come about, and people needed headshots for their
Okay.
web pages and stuff, especially since I worked at a financial institution that required people to have headshots for whatever purpose.
Okay.
So I started doing that. People liked it, and I was just drawn into that full time. Not full time, but I invested in a better camera. Actually, I used my dad's little digital camera to take a lot of pictures, and the company I was working with at the time got me to take pictures of all of the people at that office and at other offices around our
Okay.
region. And I just got a reputation for taking good pictures. I got a lot of practice because
Okay.
it's all digital. Then it went on to family and friends,
Hmm.
and I'm very active at my church, and I got real active with the audio-visual ministry. Shout out to Corinthian Baptist Church, Reverend, I should say, Bishop, with Bishop,
Okay.
Bishop James L. Martin is our pastor over there, and we uh, we do a lot over there with the AV system. I'm sorry to get off track,
Yeah.
but I just continued to take a lot of pictures and got better at it. And in my volunteering with the Leukemia Society, I was drawn into that because I was doing video, and they
Okay.
needed somebody to with the Man and Woman of the Year campaign. We have about 7 men and 7 women who campaigned to raise the most money in, I believe, 10 weeks. So I volunteered to work with them, do the
Hmm.
interviews with the volunteers, interview the families and the children affected by leukemia, and put that all together into one package that they could play at their meetings and things. And it ran about 5 minutes. That gave me a great experience for putting
Okay.
pictures and video together and a lot of editing. So that was a great experience. And I've been volunteering with them for about 7 years.
Okay.
So one thing just led to another. But the past 2 years with the Leukemia Society, I decided to network more with the people who worked or who volunteered, who had other outside interests
Okay.
in their own social media endeavors. A lot of folks are bloggers or socialites who get around and do other parties that are benefits and otherwise. So I started networking with them, and that brought me into this broader area of meeting the celebrities and going different places.
Okay. Wow, man, you've really done a lot. You're touching a lot of people's lives with what you're doing. Um, I see you got two cameras here in front of us. I don't know if they're in the shot, but what um, what is your camera of choice? What type of equipment do you use commonly?
Sure, sure. I'm a Canon man, so once you start buying lenses, well, early on, you
Okay.
use those lenses with the camera that you buy. So I had a digital Rebel at first, then I upgraded to a 40D, and I'm currently shooting with a 5D Mark III and a 5D Mark II. So this is my close-up and wide angle camera with a wide lens on it, and this is my zoom lens. It's 24, actually 70 to 200, and this
Wow.
is the 24 to 70. Um, but this one is my workhorse, the 24 to 70.
Okay. Very interesting equipment that you have there.
Yeah.
Um, What kind of, I'm still trying to help the people out there who may be interested in photography. I'm an amateur photographer, and I love to take pictures everywhere I go. For somebody just starting out, an amateur photographer, who wants to take good quality pictures, what camera would you recommend? You know, I mean, for somebody just starting out.
I would recommend any digital point and shoot camera because you're looking through the viewfinder and you're composing the shot. So you're looking at the different elements that are in there and setting everything up in a way that looks interesting. And since our medium today is digital, you just take pictures upon pictures upon pictures. You don't have to print them out. You don't have to save them. You just have to just get better by taking more pictures. And that's the best thing about the digital today that I find. But as far as getting started, I would recommend people to volunteer with organizations, companies. People are trying to get someplace and to tell a story about whatever they're trying to promote as a product or service.
Okay.
That way, you're a part of something that's changing the society, changing the community, doing a great thing, and also earning a reputation for a go-to person that can be willing to help.
Okay. Wow, man. You know, I'm a big fan of yours and photography, and just who are some of the famous people that you've taken pictures of? I mean, I don't know, locally or who was? I tell you what, who? Let's say, who were you most impressed with during your time as a photographer? I mean, what subject, or is there a particular person or a particular event that you took pictures at that you really enjoyed and left a lasting impression on you?
Sure, that brings me back to the Leukemia Society. I think it was my second year, and it was at the grand finale, Man and Woman of the Year Gala, and the families of and the children who were affected by leukemia. The kids were on stage taking a picture, and everybody's in gowns. It was at the Mellon Auditorium in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
The kids were on stage receiving a gift, I believe, from, I'm sorry, I can't remember the company that were giving them the gift, because it was the little brothers and sisters of the children who had the attention because they were in the spotlight.
Okay.
This jewelry company gave the other kids who were part of the family a little gift. So they were proud to receive the gift. They had their little tuxes and gowns on.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I took that picture, but when I turned to my left, I saw the grandmothers and aunts and uncles and the other family members with their little point and shoot cameras getting their picture. And I turned and took a picture of them taking a picture.
Okay.
And it just brought everything home for me because I sat and listened to their stories of how the parents had them on the lap playing with them and felt the lump behind their jaw
Okay.
or something like that. And then went to the doctor and found out that the kid was, diagnosed with some type of blood cancer. And to go from that story early on to this moment of celebration, and to come and the highlight of everybody coming together and celebrating these kids being cancer free, and the participants raising all this money to help bring comfort to the people who are coming in to this dreaded disease, to get comfort and be provided the support that the Leukemia Society gave to them. Everything just hit me all at the same time, and that's one of the most impressive things that I remember. The people affected, the people who tried to help, or are trying to help and make a difference, and that moment that everybody is so excited and happy in the midst of such a cruel disease, that those regular folks just, those are my heroes, the people who are on the ground doing battle day to day. So I've seen folks like Jesse Jackson. That was really something. I saw him at the Congressional Black Caucus a couple of years ago, and he was speaking on, having gone to Africa and different places, speaking on different folks' behalf.
Okay.
There's been so many events, and they all come rushing to me at one time. It's hard to pick any one thing out. But my volunteering with the Leukemia Society, I think has impressed me the most out of everything.
Yeah, I see you're very passionate about the Leukemia Society. It keeps coming up in our conversation, and I understand how it is to feel about any debilitating disease. As I was telling you before, I work with the Alzheimer's Association of Lower Hudson Valley in New York. I'm an actual DJ and host of those events for the past 9 years, so I know how it is to be passionate about a disease and to try to find a cure. Back to the photography. Who are some of the photographers whose work that you admire, in your travels?
Let's see, the photographers. Oh, it's hard.
I'm putting you on the spot now.
Put me on the spot. Boy.
Well, I know you know some local photographers in D.C. I think Lance Curry is one of the guys.
Oh
I
yeah,
know.
Lance Curry is real cool.
Steve Jacobs.
Stephen Jacobs.
Yeah, a couple of guys that I know. I've some of their work.
Now, Stephen Jacobs, he's very special, as well as Lance Curry.
Now, do you know these guys, personal friends of yours?
Steve Jacobs was one of the first guys that I met, one of the first photographers that I met on the scene that could get anybody to smile and could move a crowd. And he's so motivated and he loves what he does that, man, I love to see him come in the room. I love to shoot with him because he has no issues. He just gets in there and he rocks and rolls. Because a lot of times you can go to a place and there's this, for some reason, there's a competition, there's some stinkiness in the air, but wherever he goes, he brings a spirit and everything is lovely. I really love working with him.
Okay, yeah, big shout out to Steve Jacobs. I actually took some great shots of me along with you at the 5th annual White Party that Kitty Jones and her husband Rob Jones did over the summer. You know what? What's next for Marcus, man? What does the future hold for you, man? I know you got your camera, you got your video camera, and you just hitting the road. You got all these events that you're doing, man. What's next for Marcus, man? What can we look for?
Actually, right now I'm trying to do a lot more video. Of course, in my title it says MGB Video and Photography. Yeah. So far, the photography has been at the forefront, but now I'm doing a little more behind the scenes shooting for different photographers, especially in the fashion industry. And also, in the past 3 years, I've been fortunate to do behind-the-scenes photography for Bobby Jones Gospel. And my nephew, Mike Bennett, MWB Production, he always does the interviews that you see or on the testimony part of Bobby Jones Gospel. Yeah. So we're combining our efforts now and doing more. Well, the organization is called Bennett Backstage. Okay. So that's something that we're working on. We're going to bring out coming soon. Actually, tonight I'll be at the Howard Theater with him, shooting some behind the scenes things for performers performing tonight.
All right, sounds good, man. Listen, make sure you keep your eyes open, DC, and look for Marcus. You always see him at DC Hotspots with his camera taking pictures. Also, you're going to be working with me. We're actually going to be doing a photo shoot for my book cover.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I actually just wrote a book called Who's Who in African American Literature, Volume 1, due to be released in January. And Marcus is going to be doing a photo shoot for the cover of the book. So listen, thanks a lot for agreeing to do that. I really appreciate it. And we'll also look to work together to doing some interviews and other events in and around D.C. So, you can look for me and Marcus with the cameras and or videos covering events that are of interest to people here in Maryland and D.C. area. Listen, we're going to take a break. We're going to be right back in a few minutes. We're going to close up and finish up with Marcus. But stay tuned. We'll be right back in just a second.